right, think about this for a second. Imagine a place, where every single second, every bit of info, every decision, it could literally mean life or death.
High stakes.
Exactly, high stakes environments. And maybe none more so than, a surgical operating room.
Absolutely.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something really vital for modern healthcare, or integration.
It's a big one.
It is. And we've got a great source for this, an article from CureVision. It's called 5 Signs Your Hospital Needs or Integration.
Good source.
Yeah. So our mission here is basically to pull out the key insights from this, help you understand the hidden costs, maybe, of older systems, and just how powerful a unified OR can be.
And it's so crucial, isn't it? Because things like efficiency, precision, safety, well, they're just non-negotiable when you're talking surgery.
Non-negotiable, right?
Yet it's kind of surprising how many hospitals are still, working with these disconnected systems that can really undermine outcomes, sometimes quietly.
Silently, yeah.
And or integration, it's not just plugging in new tech. It's really a strategic shift.
Okay.
It brings together all the surgical data, imaging, vitals, device controls, puts it onto one single real-time platform.
So everyone sees the same thing.
Exactly. Think about how that empowers everyone. The OR coordinator is scheduling things, the surgeon, the nurses, even the PCU nurse later on. It creates this seamless, high-performance environment.
Right, that whole ecosystem idea. Okay, so how does a hospital figure out if it's actually ready for this? Or maybe needs this shift?
Well, that's where the signs come in.
Our source lays out 5 pretty clear warning signs. Let's jump into the first one. And it's something that, honestly, you might think is already sorted everywhere.
You would think so.
Sign 1. Critical information is still being shared verbally, or, get this, on paper.
Still happens a lot.
Wow. So surgical teams relying on someone telling them something, or printed reports, handwritten notes. I mean, it seems basic, but where does that really break down? What are the big risks?
Oh, the risks are huge, and they stack up fast. First off, miscommunication. Just plain misunderstanding between team members.
Especially under pressure.
Exactly. Then you've got these information gaps, right? During handoffs, shift changes.
Sure.
Someone doesn't get the full picture. Critical details get missed.
Okay.
And then, the physical risk. Losing paper charts, notes getting smudged. It happens. Human error.
So how does integration fix that specific problem?
Well, it provides this unified digital dashboard. Everyone can see it from any station in the OR.
Instantly accessible?
Instantly. You get live updates, vitals, how the case is going, imaging, right there. It cuts down interruptions massively because people aren't constantly asking for updates. And it leads to, much more informed decisions being made by everyone involved.
So fewer mistakes during the operation itself, less risk overall. It really takes away that hidden cost of just human error in communication.
Precisely. And it builds that foundation for a truly digital OR.
Okay, that makes sense. So moving on from just passing information around, let's talk about something that can mess up the whole day.
Ah, yes. Delays.
Sign number 2. Surgical teams are experiencing frequent start time delays. That feeling of always running behind. If that's normal, that's a sign.
That's a big red flag.
So beyond just being annoying, what's the sort of ripple effect? How did these delays pile up and hurt the hospital overall?
Yeah, they're way more than just annoying hiccups. They accumulate. One delay pushes the next case back, then the next.
Domino effect.
Exactly. The whole day's schedule gets thrown off. And think about the staff surgeons, nurses, they get disengaged, frustrated, waiting around. Morale takes a hit.
I can imagine.
And for the hospital, it's real money, lost revenue because ORs aren't being used efficiently. And patients get unhappy. Nobody likes waiting or getting rescheduled.
Right. So what's the integration solution here? How does it smooth that out?
It gives you visualized scheduling, like a live dashboard showing exactly what's happening, real time. Real-time readiness updates is the staff ready, equipment in place, room turned over. It replaces all those manual phone calls and check-ins that cause bottlenecks.
Automates the check-ins.
Yeah, workflow automation is key. So case preparation gets streamlined, turnover times improve. You see measurable improvements in how much the ORs are actually being used.
So it's not just about starting on time, it's about optimizing that whole flow, potentially fitting in more cases even, turning that waiting cost into productive time.
That's the goal. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, sign 3. This one's about the folks behind the scenes. The unsung heroes, maybe?
Tech teams?
Right. Sign 3. Biomedical and IT teams are constantly putting out fires. So they're always reacting to problems, fixing breakdowns, instead of optimizing or preventing issues.
A very common scenario.
Yeah, our source mentions unstable systems, things not talking to each other. Poor interoperability. So what are the bigger consequences when IT and biomed are stuck in that reactive mode?
Well, the most immediate risk is downtime during surgery. Equipment failing when you need it most. Something that maybe could have been predicted or prevented.
That's serious.
Very. Plus, when you're always firefighting, you tend to implement quick fixes, right? Patchwork solutions.
Makes sense.
But those patches make future upgrades much harder, more complicated. You're not building a solid foundation. And it just costs more in the long run, inefficiency, repeated fixes.
So it's a cycle of just fixing, not improving. How does integration break that cycle?
It gives them tools for proactive monitoring, predictive dashboards that can flag potential issues before they cause downtime, error alerts.
Seeing problems coming.
Exactly. And centralized visibility. They can see the status of all connected devices from one place. Software updates become easier. It just cuts down drastically on the need for manual interventions and running around.
So it shifts them from reactive firefighters to, like, proactive system managers.
That's the idea. You get more uptime in the OR, which is critical. Workflows become more reliable. And you build an IT infrastructure that's ready for the future, not just patching up the past.
That shift sounds crucial. Okay, let's follow the patient journey. From the OR, they go to recovery, that handoff point.
Critical transition.
Which brings us to sign 4. OR-to-PCU handoffs are incomplete or delayed. The PCU nurse gets a patient but doesn't have the full story, what happened in surgery, anesthesia details. They're left guessing.
A scenario PCU nurses know all too well.
Yeah. So what does that actually mean for the patient and for the relationship between those teams?
Well, first and foremost, it increases patient safety risks. If the PCU team doesn't have complete, timely info, they might miss something critical during that initial recovery phase.
Look at that. That's worrying.
It also just creates inefficiency. Unnecessary phone calls back to the OR, delays while they track down information, maybe even duplicate tasks. Wasted time when the focus should be on the patient.
Frustrating for everyone involved, I bet.
Definitely. And yeah, it can erode trust between the OR and recovery teams. The OR feels like they passed off the info. PCU feels like they're left in the dark. It creates friction.
So integration smooths this handoff how?
It enables automatic data transfer. As the OR case closes, the relevant patient data case events, final vitals, anesthesia records, surgical notes, alerts it flows directly into the PCU system.
Seamlessly.
So the PCU team has clear visibility instantly. They know what happened, what to look out for.
The impact seems obvious there.
Yeah.
Better post-op care, quicker responses if something goes wrong.
Right, because the team is fully briefed from the moment the patient arrives.
And presumably a more confident, less stressed PCU team builds trust back up.
Absolutely. It fosters that collaborative environment.
Okay, final sign. Let's zoom out to the leadership level, the big picture.
The strategic view.
Sign 5. You lack data to justify investments or optimize performance. Hospitals need to show results, right? But if you can't measure OR use, turnaround times, efficiency KPIs, you're flying blind.
Operating in the dark, yeah.
So why is this lack of data such a major red flag, strategically? Beyond just, not knowing if you need new tech.
It really hampers strategic decision-making. Without solid data, how do you justify spending millions on new technology or upgrades? You can't prove the ROI.
You can't make the business case.
Exactly. And you miss opportunities to improve operations and save costs simply because you don't actually know where the bottlenecks or inefficiencies are. You might think you know, but the data tells the real story.
Right. Gut feeling versus facts.
Precisely. And ultimately, it leads to poor long-term planning. You can't set effective strategic goals for the surgical department without understanding current performance.
So integration provides
It provides the intelligence, real-time dashboards showing OR throughput, occupancy rates, case duration, turnover times, all those key metrics.
Customizable too, I assume?
Yes. Customizable analytics let you drill down into specific areas, identify those inefficiencies, and you get exportable reports that directly show the ROI of improvements and guide that future planning.
That sounds incredibly powerful. So the impact isn't just transparency, it's actually being able to align your budget better, make smarter investments.
And accelerate that whole digital transformation in surgery because now you have the data to drive it intelligently.
But, data can be tricky. Is there a risk of getting overwhelmed? Like analysis paralysis once you do have all this info?
That's a really valid point. Yes, there's definitely a risk. The key is not just collecting data, but collecting the right data and having the tools and expertise to interpret it.
Okay.
Pitfalls could be tracking too many irrelevant metrics, not having user-friendly dashboards, or maybe not training staff on how to use the insights effectively. Some staff might even feel like they're being micromanaged if it's not handled well.
Right, the implementation matters.
Hugely. The best systems focus on presenting clear, actionable KPIs. They guide decisions. They don't drown you in numbers. It's about insight, not just information overload.
Okay, that makes sense. So, wrapping this up, every single sign we've talked through today, it isn't just pointing out a flaw, it's actually highlighting a path forward, isn't it?
Exactly right. Hospitals that see these signs, and more importantly, act on them, they're really positioning themselves at the forefront. They become leaders in safety, in operational efficiency, and clinical innovation.
Future-proofing, almost.
That's a great way to put it. Or integration can genuinely help future-proof a hospital's surgical services. It prepares them for whatever comes next in terms of technology and patient care demands.
So here's a final thought for you listening. Consider this. We've talked about the OR, a super complex environment. But in an age where information is just everything, how might integrating systems, connecting the dots in any complex environment, fundamentally change how decisions get made and ultimately what outcomes are achieved?
Good question.
Maybe think about how these ideas, clear communication, smooth handoffs, data-driven decisions might apply in your own work, your own field, or even just in how you manage information day to day. Something to chew on.